Hi, you guys. This is Undoing the Complex with Chantelle and Dante.
Yes.
Hi, baby.
Hey, baby.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
This is take 2 of episode 1.
Yeah, basically take 1 was low-key an argument. Not an argument. It was like a debate.
No, it was us processing this new space that we're in.
This is vulnerable.
It's very vulnerable.
And we're planning on getting even more vulnerable.
And both of us are very opinionated, strong-willed. Like, you could do a podcast on your own and I could do a podcast 100%. On my own.
We almost, the picture is like, you know how you have the guy in a chair and then the agent in the field. Well, we're both like wanting to be agents in the field.
For sure.
And we're like, hey, we need somebody to take that chair.
Who's a good Marvel couple that we could...
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe they can give us some input on that one, because I can't think about anybody.
If you have an idea of a Marvel couple that we could, what is the word? Inspire to be?
Be inspired by.
Be inspired by.
Yeah.
You can leave us a review and
leave a review.
Tell us in the review what Marvel couple you think that we.
Yes. Well, we can't ask people to do stuff for us yet. We're not that good yet. So just keep listening. Right now we're just asking that y'all keep listening. All right, we need to this is our first ever episode of Dante and Chantelle Nelson doing a podcast together. This is kind of like one of our first like projects together. I almost could get tears in my eyes a little bit, because man, we have come a long way, and
very long.
And there's so much breakthrough on your life. We're seeing it in your life coaching, and to see you dreaming in a space that honestly I've never seen as your husband for the past 5.5 years.
I've never seen it, and I've been with me for 33 years. So
and to see you just step into a space of where you have like creative ideas oozing out of you.
Should I get my chart?
Oh my God. Oh my God. You say
my
things.
Chart picture?
What was the chart? Yeah. Go ahead.
I was saying that in this new space of dreaming and creativity, for years, I couldn't chart out one good idea, and now it's like explosive diarrhea. Just everywhere, all the time, all day.
Just nasty.
It's just coming out of me, and I can't stop it. But remember those years where I would just,
you just
like try and get an idea, nothing.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought that was me in this season, but I don't think it has been. I think I've just been in a space where I haven't been as inspired, maybe in prior seasons, because I wasn't inspired half of the time. I was escaping, which we'll talk more about that in this. But
you said you're my guy in the chair right now.
I am your guy in the chair right now, and I love it. I honestly do. Like, I love seeing your dreams come to life, and
you're the hottest guy in the chair I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you, baby.
You're nothing like Ned.
Thank you. I try to. Ned is a guy in Spider-Man. Yeah. Anyways, we're just giving out all the Marvel themes. Like, we love Marvel. We've like watched the whole little. You know, it's not a trilogy.
It's not little.
The whole thing, the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But let's just start maybe with who we are. Just a little bit of who I am. My name is Dante, and I am a husband. I am a dad of 2 beautiful, strong-willed boys, Zion and Kobe. I'm also a associate youth pastor at Bethel Church, and I'm also a creative. I love to create things, I guess. I have a side business, Dante Nelson Creative, where I do side graphic design, website, videography, editing, brand design, clothing design, vendors with manufacturers, working with threads. And
.com.
Yes, and in my living room, right where we're sitting right now, I have 4 different frames, and there's gaff tape inside of them because I didn't have the time nor headspace to create graphics to put in them, and so I literally flipped the paper backwards and found some gaff tape in my backpack, and literally just went to work. And I also have a painting right across from the room.
When we first got married, he wanted to paint a picture that we could put in our living room. And being the good new wife that I was like, sure.
Sure.
You can try that, but maybe you could get my final approval. Because I didn't know he could paint. I didn't know you could really draw. I didn't know. I just thought you did spoken word and you were cool. Yeah. But I didn't know that you had this whole creative.
Is that why you married me? Because of my spoken word and my coolness? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just was making sure. That's all.
No, I married you because you loved God more than you loved anything else in the world.
Yeah.
And then you left me.
We're also 6 years and 2 months apart. She is older, so she straight up robbed the cradle like a thief in the night.
I am a puma. A puma. Not a cougar.
It's
My
like
sister says that
years.
Cougars is like when there's like 20 years, but I'm a puma.
Yeah. And I like to say, you know, how the male brain doesn't fully form.
That's not what you
or
say.
Develop.
That's what I say.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me say it as my own, since it's my story as well. One flesh. How the male's brain doesn't develop until you're like 25. Actually, new research come out saying that it's 30. Also, I'm not a researcher. I'm only saying that because I heard it like 1 or 2 times. But 25 years old, male brain develops. So basically, Chantelle met me at 19 and has been able to form the husband that she wants.
Yes,
I am a product of your own making.
See, this is why you marry somebody younger, because then they're not like stuck in their ways and rigid in their opinions yet. They're still moldable and willing to obey.
Yeah. We say it as a joke because it's actually a joke. I made my own choices to get to where I am, and some not so good choices, and then some have, made me who I am today.
But you're a creative.
I am a creative.
Oh, the living room painting. Yeah. So then I let you do it.
Oh yeah, you
painted a picture, and I woke up the next morning. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen.
Oh yeah, because I stayed up all night. It was so much fun.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so now he's been painting pieces for our house ever since.
Yeah, I think I'll be the only one painting for our house for a while. Mm. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I'm from South Bay, Florida. I love my city, Muck City. If anybody's listening from my hood, I love my people and my family. I haven't been home in a little minute. My grandma called today while I was at work because she had a dream about something. My mom has crazy dreams. It's even how I even got to Bethel. One night we had a whole conversation about me coming out to this random school in California, and I have, some academic scholarships to go to a bunch of other schools, and my mom is like, "You say what?" I got like different scholarships. Having a conversation, it is terrifying to talk to your parents, especially a black woman, about a decision that you're making that does not make any sense. And we ended up having this 4-hour conversation, and then that night didn't land on the same page. She goes to bed. I'm in the kitchen. And at this point, I'm like, man, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly. And I'm in the kitchen, and I literally pray, God, I ask that you will give my mom a dream. And the next morning, she comes out of the room, and the first thing she says, I'm getting ready for school. She says, Dante, I had a dream last night. Long story short, the dream was such a specific confirmation for me to come to Redding. And so even how I got here was really supernatural. And I know that there's so many people's stories of how they got here. God called them here, or they were brought into different spaces, or they met a person. And so that's a big part of my story. That's a big part of our story, because we actually met in school of ministry in second year when I saw you and said that you'd be mine from day one.
You did. We saw each other at a party. And by the time I got home from this, he introduced himself to me at the very end when we were all leaving.
Yes. The longest 2 minutes of my life. I don't think my hand has
Your
ever
hand was
been,
very clammy.
It's never been sweaty since that day. It's been days, but not that sweaty. I was dripping. And
so he introduced himself, and then before I got home, which we live in Redding, so it takes 7 minutes to get anywhere, and by the time I made that 7-minute drive home, listen, we're older than some of y'all, but I had a Facebook Facebook message, an Instagram follow, and a Facebook friend request. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a friend request on Facebook.
A Facebook message.
A message as well.
And then an Instagram follow.
Yes. Yeah. I was definitely letting my
Thirsty.
No, I wasn't thirsty.
You were thirsty. Your mouth was dry, and you wanted me to quench it.
That sounds so sexual. I guess we've never defined what thirsty like at the bottom level. What are you thirsty for? What do you want to drink?
You want to drink a tall glass of dark chocolate milk.
What does that look like?
Like you're thirsty. Like you're just gonna. Oh, this is what it means. You're gonna take whatever you can get. Oh.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. When people say I'm thirsty, what you trying to sip? What you want to lick up?
I was like a glass of fine wine. You weren't thirsty. You wanted the good stuff.
This is, you can't even get away from it. It's all right. Okay, Chantelle, who are you?
I am, man, this is such a hard question.
I told you.
I am a wife. I am a mom.
You're an amazing wife.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby. I'm from Canada. I grew up in a city called Calgary, Alberta, which people, when I first moved here, thought that we actually lived in igloos and walked around on snowshoes.
Yeah.
Which we don't. My city is more than 1 million people. It's a hub of good food, really kind people, and creativity, and my beautiful family that I love so much. My dad told me I could come to America as long as I didn't marry an American and I came home. Yeah. And I did the one thing that he asked me not to do.
Yeah.
Which my family is still processing, but
that's all right. That's all right. I love them so much. They love me too.
They do.
I love them a whole lot. Like you have some families where it's just like, man, I tolerate. Mm-hmm. And then you have some families where you feel like a son. And that is my portion, and I'm not ashamed of it. I love my Canadian family.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going. I'm only saying that because they might be listening. JK.
So I'm from Canada. Before I came here, I was on a track to become a licensed psychologist, and so I have my bachelor's degree in behavioral sciences, which is psychology and sociology. And I was on my way to becoming a registered psychologist. I wanted to have my own practice, counsel people. Then I moved here.
When we were dating, you were so locked in your master's.
I was doing my master's when we were dating.
That's true. I can believe how focused you were.
I told him, what did I say?
You said
God comes first.
God comes first.
My master's comes second.
Yep. And you're after that.
Yeah. And then you come somewhere down.
And in my mind, I was like, girl, if you want this ring, you're going to end up changing them priorities. God can stay where he's at. I respect that.
I'm pretty sure my dad said he wanted me to finish. That was.
Yeah, when I talked to your dad, that was the first thing he brought up was your schooling.
Schooling is very important in my family.
I'm what at this age? I'm 19 years old.
You're 19.
And he's talking about, my daughter. Master's degree. Need her to focus on that. And I just
graduated high school.
I am
with your little bow ties and your suspenders.
This is why I think I should have been an actor, because in this moment I'm like, yeah, I completely understand. I understand that she has to get her education.
But you did, and you understood in the
to the
space that your brain
degree
could
that
understand.
I could. But now when I look back,
you had no idea.
I knew nothing.
You knew nothing.
No. And you had 6 years on me. There's experience and life lived that I just hadn't experienced yet. I was still in school of ministry, which isn't real life. I'm getting breakthrough. I'm finding friends that are still friends of mine today. Some of my groomsmen who I met in school of ministry, but it wasn't real life.
No.
And so I did the best that I could with what I had.
You did.
But anyways, yeah, you move here.
But yeah, I finished my master's degree while we were finishing ministry school, while we were getting myself a green card, while we were planning a wedding, while we were
That's a lot.
Settling our roots here in Redding and deciding not to go back to Florida or Canada. So it was a crazy time.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant 4 months later.
4 months. 4 months in, y'all. We find out we're pregnant.
On birth control. Never missed a day.
And at this point, I'm 21, right?
Yes, you're 21.
In the bathroom of our 800 square feet.
Oh, we're going to tell this story now?
I gotta say it.
All
I
right.
gotta say it. 800 square feet apartment. I know you said we got to keep a certain time limit. Just to let y'all know, she's like keeping us on time. 800 square feet apartment in a bathroom, and at this point we're pretty codependent, which we'll talk more about. But the phrase that we use was, "Hey, if
one of us is down, meaning like emotionally down, the other person has to be up."
So I need you to be on.
Which, to be fair, we heard that from a trusted person.
And also to some extent, that does help in certain spaces. But we were like, hey, I don't care where you're at. I need you to be here when I'm here.
So
we
I
can't
said,
both be down.
If this test is positive, I'm going to be down. So I'm going to need you to be up.
Yes. And
he was not up.
Big old strong plus on there. And yeah, I think I had.
Listen, it was not a strong plus. The first time that I took that test,
the first time was
the day before,
it was a negative.
It was a strong
Which is
negative.
Messed up.
That's I throw it in the trash, and I'm like, "Whew, I'm
we
safe."
Good. The next morning,
I'm peeing. I'm looking down at the trash, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I pull this thing out of the trash can, and it went from a negsies to a posy. It went negative to positive overnight.
That thing says
that
psych.
Trash turned that thing into a positive test result.
Psych, girl, you pregnant.
So then I took another one, and it was
strong plus,
positive.
No denying it.
And you crumbled.
I did,
like an old cookie
under the weight of my new future.
You said my
dreams are dying. I'm glad we can laugh about it now, but that was a painful day. A painful time.
I left the house and I said, you pick yourself up that floor and you go talk to somebody now.
Yes. And it was the best thing that I could have done, was letting people in on that.
And now we love our life. Wait, let me finish talking about me and then we're going to talk. We've been talking about we.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Now my brain farted.
Okay, that's all right. Just let out the gas and then keep going.
So I got pregnant 4 months into marriage, and I had to finish a practicum for my master's degree, and I finished that master's degree 1 month before I had our first kid.
Crazy.
And so I had to kind of close up shop to the dream of becoming a therapist because I was about to become a mom. So I put it on the shelf for many years, and I try pulling it back down every so often. Maybe I'll try this route. Maybe I'll get licensed here in California. Maybe I'll become a marriage and family therapist. Maybe I'll do all these things. And I never felt peace on it. So I just kept tossing it back up there until 8 months ago.
Yeah.
I was in the shower and God told me, I want you to teach people how to come alive in every season. And I'm pretty sure I babe.
Yeah, you did. And,
I ran out of the shower. I'm like, it's happening. Yeah. I'm going to be a life coach. This is what I'm going to do. Get the domain, pull out your computer.
You went full on. You said God spoke and I'm moving.
I'm going. That's the way I do it. I'm like, you just tell me what to do and I'm going to run full force.
You did. You kind of ran ahead.
I did.
But you got there though. And it's just crazy. I think it's crazy because I saw you in the seasons of hope deferred with your dreams and the things that you actually felt called to do, or the things that were on your life but weren't being recognized by the people around you, and how you continue to say yes to family. I saw you in those spaces. I saw the spaces where you struggled dreaming. We talk about this and I tell people, I'm like, y'all know this version of dreaming Chantelle, but you didn't see when she was choosing God, she was choosing family, she was choosing to do what was in front of her in the midst of nothing around you happening.
Yeah.
And I love that that's your story. That wasn't my story. I was choosing everything else and escaping when my life wasn't happening.
But I'm really excited to talk about that one day.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. But our journey to wholeness and freedom and connection and interdependence and dreaming with our family are a bit different, but it's been together and in the same beautiful house of our marriage, or whatever analogy. But yeah.
So we have been married for 5.5 years now. We've kind of shared a little bit about us.
Yeah, so I think we can share about why we're actually here behind these mics with undoing the complex.
Undoing the complex.
And why we're actually doing it. What is that? how we even got to the name of Undoing the Complex.
I think even just what we've talked about in our story, our journey, yours and mine, I think it's just a really good picture of what it is that we're going to be doing in this space of like, life is hard and it throws curveballs at you and it's not black or white. And there's a lot of things that you plan for that don't happen or that happen that you didn't plan for. And
how do you show up in the middle of that and the pain that comes up in the midst of doing life on life, knowing how to actually walk through that, not being raised in families where you learned that or environments that nurtured that. And so how do you actually bring the you that is always meant to be?
Yeah.
You know, how do you even find that you?
And how do you not let those hard things take you out? And take you out meaning feeling powerless every single day like I did for so long, feeling like my circumstances dictated my season.
Or settling for cycles in addiction or things that offer an instant gratification or instant moment of comfort, but it's bargaining with chaos and it's not actually bringing you into that place of deep fulfillment. That's what we want to talk about, because I think a lot of times through conversation and through dialogue, when you get to hear other people's perspective or their breakthrough or moments of vulnerability, when people choose to share their stories or share their lives, what you can get out of that is special. I think it's sacred, and I think it's meant to be shared. I think the testimony of a person's life is not just meant for that person. And I think it would be, I don't know, selfish if I would say of us to not give away the beauty that we get to experience in our lives together. You know, I love our marriage. Like, I love our life. I love the story of the house that we're in right now, and the testimony of how we got here. Like, it's crazy that we've done it together. Look at you messing up. I was in a
I'm a hand talker.
moment.
I was moving my hands.
I was
so that
going
I could talk
in
with my hands.
I was, you know, those moments where you're going so deep, where you're listening to yourself like, that's
that
good.
was an oops moment.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. We got some insiders. We let them in on some, but never that one. But yeah, that's Undoing the Complex. That the things that you're gonna open your mouth. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a huge piece of both of our breakthroughs has been talking to people. Like, so much of the freedom that I have in my life is because I stopped letting these narratives and these lies and this chaos swirliness of all the different things that I believe in my mind stay in there. Like, if you keep stuff inside, you go crazy.
100%. And you will spiral into nothing.
Or into a story that is completely untrue.
Yes.
And a life that isn't rooted in reality.
Yeah.
And so we want to have the hard conversations about the complicated things in life. What is it that you say? Life isn't black and white, and sometimes we get stuck in the gray.
Yes. And that gray space is that space of mystery, that space of, man, I don't know how to get out of this, and I need help, or I need to be heard. I need to be listened to. I need someone to hear where I'm at. And
I need someone to know me and see me. And
I don't know how to do that. Right. I don't know how to let people in. Or I've let people in and I've been hurt, and I don't know if I can do it again. And so self-protection has become my friend. And so that's some of the stuff that can feel complex. And we want to undo some of that through conversation, through some of our story. Maybe we can have some guests on here at some point.
Yeah. 100%.
And being able to actually talk about this stuff. Pray for y'all on here. We both love Jesus. We love the word of God that is unmatched in every way, and the truth of what God does in a life yielded to him. And so this is Undoing the Complex with Chantelle and Dante.
And what do we want everyone to get out of this?
Man, I know exactly what, I would want is that people would listen to this and walk away feeling hope, that they would feel hope for their life. Because I think if you lose hope, if you lose that little spark that you can face tomorrow, that you can face today, then no one else can convince you of anything. And I think if people can walk away with hope, we're not going to have all the answers. My wife has her master's degree, and I would say I have a lot of powerful choices that I've made in my life. But we're not the expert on every conversation we're going to be talking about. But being able to hear someone and take seeds in moments or things that relate to your own personal story, I think you can find hope and inspiration that your life is meant for more, that you can actually dream beyond your wildest and actually attain those things. We're both doers. We love getting things done. Most people who know us knows that we're executors. We're not done. This podcast is just the beginning of us starting things together and being able to share the beauty of what God has done in our life and what we've gone after. So my deepest, desire from this would be that people walk away with hope, that people walk away inspired.
Mine was going to be inspired, but I'll change it now.
Okay, go ahead.
And not inspired of like, wow, look at them, they have it all together, because we don't. But inspired where you can see yourself in our story, a little snip of it, any part of what we're sharing, and you can be like, my thing would be, I want people to feel normal. I think a lot of times when we're not open with our life and we're swirling in our minds, we can feel like we're crazy. We can feel like what we're going through, nobody else is. We feel alone. We feel like we have no way to get out of it. But when you can hear yourself and somebody else's story and it's normalized, we're going to talk about a lot of hard things on here.
Yeah.
But when it feels normalized of like, not that this is okay, but hey, we've been there. We know what that feels like. We know what that struggle is. This is how we walked out of it. And this is the life that we're living on the other side. And when you can feel normal, then the walls come down. And you don't feel like you have to protect yourself in order to put on a face or in order to make it look like you have it all together.
I love that. And I think another word for normal is that you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
That you feel actually, I'm not the only one who's thought those thoughts. I'm not the only one who's felt those feelings, man. Or even if I do feel like the only one, that there's still room for me to be seen and known, and yes, I completely agree with that.
And encouraged. I think we want you to feel encouraged to go after the things inside of you that are keeping you stuck, that you don't have to stay there, but you can be encouraged to actually face those things, and it's not going to kill you, and that you can actually get free and whole
and encouraged
healed.
That you're going to be okay.